significance of different types of organism in their respiratory system. Want to take a look at what are the adaptations in respiratory system by looking at the respiratory system in frogs, fish and also in grasshopper. Nanti bila kita belajar bio pun inilah 3 organisma yang kita akan tengok. We will discuss the same thing but more in depth. So hari ini pengenalan saja. Okay, so if you are inside the paddock right now, you will be redirected to the first slide. Kamu akan dibawa ke slide yang pertama semula. Kalau sebelum ni kamu berada di slide lain, kamu akan berada di slide pertama semula sebab saya dah tukar menjadi teacher pace. Ikut saya punya pace balik ya. So I can see here, some of you have already responded to the slides. There are already 21 people inside the paddock. Alhamdulillah, very good. Tahniah semua yang telah mula memberikan respons seperti Batrisha, Taufik, Irfa, Abdullah, Damia, Iman, Khalil, Rizky, Melissa, Mas, Narisa. Ini semua orang-orang yang telah memberikan respons seawal slide 1 lagi. Okay, so thank you so much for your responses. Now let's take a look at your responses. Now, as we can see from our discussion regarding human respiratory system, sebentar. Okay, siapa itu bertanya? Oh, paddock link sebentar ya. Paddock link ada dalam WhatsApp tu, link yang sama ya. Okay, ini link dia. Alright, thank you for asking. Thank you for reaching out. Let's take a look. Okay, sebentar ya. Okay, let's see here. Siapa nak masuk ni? Alright. Okay, so let's see. Apa ya kita tengah start tadi? Okay, so when we discuss about human respiratory system, the adaptations of alveolus and a bit about adaptation in blood capillary, we can find that there are 3 main features in human respiratory system. Especially in the alveolus area, the 3 features that help alveolus to facilitate or increase the rate of gases exchange. Number 1 is moist surface, thin structure and large surface area. So in this slide, I have asked you, can you recall where do we find these features in human respiratory system? So some of you have already responded. Sebagai contoh, ini adalah submission daripada beberapa submission yang diberikan kat sini. Sekejap. Kita buat macam ni. 1, 2, 3. Okay, ini adalah beberapa submission daripada Taufik, Ifrah, Noah, Imran, Abdullah, Emilia, Narisa. Okay, nanti ada yang dah update nanti saya tambah lagi ya. So as you can see here, moist feature can be found on the surface of alveoli. Good. And thin structure can be found in the walls of alveolus and blood capillary. They are thin. They are so thin, they are only 1 cell thick. Very good. Okay, and then lastly, in terms of large surface area, in human respiratory system, large surface area can be achieved by having a large number or millions of alveoli. So, moist thin dengan large surface area tu can be found in alveolus in terms of the surface alveolus covered with moisture, the wall of alveolus and blood capillary is only 1 cell thick, and large surface area because there are millions in number of alveoli. But when we take a look at different organism, bila kita tengok pada organisma-organisma lain pula, we can see that these features can also be found in different organisms. Bila kita bawa atau kita observe organisma lain, kita dapati organisma ciri-ciri ini juga ada pada organ yang membuat gas exchange dalam organisma tersebut. Okay, saya bagi lagi I give you around 30 seconds to update your slide here so that after that we move on to the next slide where we discuss about the same three features, but in frogs, in fish, and also in insect, especially in grasshopper. Sekejap ya. Okay. I'll give you another few seconds. Di sampai mana? Narisa. While I update the name list of people inside the pear deck so that I will know and your class teacher will know siapa yang tak masuk lagi. Alright. Twenty students in the class so far. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, let's take a look at this one. So, let's take a look at the frog where the pathway of air movement inside the frog started from nostril, followed by oral cavity, into the glottis and the lungs. However, the frog species also conduct respiration in a different set of organ, which is the skin. So, sekejap eh. Alright. So, can you identify other characteristics of frog skin? And can you describe the function of the mentioned characteristic? As an example here, one characteristic of the frog skin is it is always moist. The function for that particular characteristic is to enable gases to dissolve and then diffuse into the skin. What other characteristics of frog skin that can be used to describe the frog skin, number one, and for that particular characteristic, can you describe the function of that characteristic? Okay, so we have a few submission here. Let's take a look. Okay, moist sudah ada. Dia punya description sudah ada. So I wanted to see the other two features. Kan? There are three features that we talk about here. Moist kita nampak dekat mana. Thin kita nampak dekat mana. Large surface area kita nampak dekat mana. So, moist sudah ada. Dekat mana nak jumpa karakteristik thin tu? Dekat mana kita nak cari feature thin? Nipis. Umar, Mas, Melissa, Narisa ada idea? Mereka-mereka ni antara orang yang belum respon lagi. Okay. Do you have any other ideas? Namia, Melina, Aina, do you have any other ideas? Okay, good. Saya dah nampak contohnya dekat sini. Okay ya. Contohnya dekat sini is submission daripada Emilia. Emilia kata thin tu sebab frog skin is thin. So it is permeable for diffusion of gases. It is permeable to gases. So faster exchange of gases can occur at the skin. Berbanding dengan kita punya skin tebal. Jadi tak bolehlah permeable to gases. So very good Emilia, frog skin is thin and the function is it is permeable to gases, so gases can diffuse through it direct into blood capillary. Okay, bagus. Okay, kita cakap pasal skin ya. Sekarang ni soalan dia ialah, can you explain the characteristic of frog skin? Okay, frog skin. Okay, moist sudah ada. Okay, example tu dah bagi moist. Sekarang ni kita dah ada thin. Large surface area, ada siapa nak bagi? So, suka untuk saya ingatkan, frogs conduct exchange of gases in two different organs. Number one is the lung and number two is the skin. In our current syllabus, we don't discuss about exchange of gases in lungs. We more focus on exchange of gases at the skin. Okay, nanti bila belajar bio nanti, mekanisme ini akan dibincangkan dengan lebih detail lagi. Okay, apa adaptation pada lung, kenapa dekat lung tu instead of alveolus kita nampak garis-garis macam tu. Itu semua kita akan discuss masa belajar bio nanti. So, ini pengenalan sahaja, kita pengenalan kepada skin ya. Okay, number one moist, number two thin. Saya cari. Sekejap ya, saya highlight dulu jawapan Emilia tadi. Okay. Now, ni jawapan Rizky yang on the way, tapi saya nampak dah dia punya submission tu, arah dia macam mana, the way of thinking tu saya dah boleh nampak, bagus. Okay ya. So, Rizky teruskan Rizky. Okay, Rizky punya idea ialah inside the skin, there is a dense network of blood capillaries. So, dense network of blood capillary ni juga adalah another way to increase surface area for gases exchange. So when there is a lot of blood capillary, it will increase the diffusion rate of gases between the skin and the blood capillaries. Very good, Rizky. Thank you. So we have two other characteristics of frog skin that enable faster gases exchange. Number one, the frog skin is moist, so gases can easily dissolve before diffuse into the into the skin. Itu saya dah bagi. The two other characteristics are as shown in the Google Meet, which is the frog skin is very thin, so it is very permeable to gases. Okay, bila kita compare dengan kita punya skin, our skin is thick, so gases cannot diffuse through it. And then number two, underneath the layer of the skin, there is a dense network of blood capillaries, so that there will be more surface area for diffusion of gases between the skin and the blood capillaries. Anak-anak nampak tak? Walaupun kita sebut organisma lain, but we still can find the same three features, which is moist, thin and large in frog's respiratory system. Walaupun kita ubah organisma dia, kita masih lagi jumpa tiga ciri-ciri yang membolehkan pertukaran gas berlaku dengan cepat, dengan efisien, iaitu moist, dekat mana? thin dekat mana, large dekat mana. So since in this particular activity, I have seen that you have developed you have developed an overview about adaptation of the respiratory system. Saya nak tengok how do you apply the same technique for other organism. The next one is the fish. Okay ya. Last saya tunggu Iman dengan Emilia ni tulis. Iman, Emilia dengan Melina ni tulis. I give you another 1 minute. Okay ya. Saya screenshot juga jawapan ni supaya boleh jadi rujukan untuk dalam Telegram nanti ya. So yang saya lampirkan dalam Telegram ini adalah basic points to describe the characteristic and function of frog skin. If you elaborate more than that, if you describe the characteristics further, it is also okay, tak ada masalah. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I have to cut short your submission because we want to discuss two more organisms. Okay, the next organism is fish. So untuk fish sama juga. Can you find how does the fish gills achieve moist surface, thin surface and large surface area? Dekat mana tiga features ni dijumpai pada gills? Okay, so many of you have responded. Okay, in terms of moisture can be achieved because the fish lives underwater, so the gills are constantly exposed or surrounded by water. So the respiratory gases can easily dissolve and diffuse into the gills. Kejap Oh, okay. I can see you. I can understand your submission. Sekejap Sebab ada orang dia tulis macam terbalik. Tapi rupanya betul. Saya salah baca. Okay. So the first one in terms of moisture, since gills are constantly surrounded by water, so it is constantly moist. This will cause the respiratory gases easily dissolve and diffuse into the gills. Okay, itu number one. Number two, thin structure. Bagus. Thin structure is achieved by the structure fine filaments and also lamella, kan? Nipis tu dapat daripada the very fine filaments and projections on the filament called lamella. Okay, setiap baris insang ada dua baris, two thin brushes. These thin brushes that can be found in the gills is called lamella. And when filament. When we put the filament under the microscope, we can see there are many flat projections on the surface of the lamella, on the surface of filament called lamella. Gills consist of 2 rows of fine brushes. Setiap tulang insang tu kita nampak ada 2 berus halus. Berus halus ni kita panggil sebagai filamen, dan filamen ni bila kita letak bawah mikroskop, pada setiap satu filamen tu permukaan dia ada banyak unjuran-unjuran yang dipanggil sebagai lamella. Okay, bukan lamale. Lamela ya. So, inilah cara untuk gills achieve large surface area. Bilangan filamen tu sangat nipis dan ada banyak projection to increase total surface area. Okay, large number of projections, large number of lamella. Okay, that is how it achieve large surface area and also how it achieve thin structure. Okay, lengkap kan? Most of you got it correct. Bagus. Okay, thin and flat lamella tu total surface, thin tu dapat daripada filamen. Flat lamella yang ada banyak bilangan dia yang banyak tu increase total surface area. Okay, bagus. Okay, I can see that your submissions are complete. Sekejap ya. Alright. Itulah macam macam dah nak habis submit ni. Okay, tolong tengok ejaan lamella. Please be careful with the spelling of lamella because lamella is a term. If the spelling is wrong, the term will be different. Okay. So untuk yang baru masuk, sebab dalam pedek ni baru ada 24 orang tapi sekarang kita ada 26 orang. So ada 2 orang lagi belum masuk. Link to the pedek app is in the chat. Okay, I give you another 30 seconds to update your answer. Very good. Okay. Sorry, I have to cut short your submissions. Thank you so much. Most of you have got the sequence already. So no problem. I can see that all of you have started to state the characteristic and followed by the function. Okay, for grasshoppers, instead of having only 2 nostrils like us, they have a lot of quote unquote nostrils on the abdomen atau di kawasan perut of the grasshopper. Okay, grasshopper have a lot of quote unquote nostril on the abdomen and thorax area. The nostril ni in the grasshopper, we call it as spiracle. Okay, we call it as spiracles, and the number of spiracles is a lot. So there basically in a simpler term we can say that grasshopper has many lubang hidung lah. Okay, itu nombor 1. Nombor 2, when the air enters the spiracles, it will flow into trachea, and this trachea branches into thin structures called tracheole. Okay, and then the tracheoles are connected connected directly to the muscles inside the grasshopper's body. So in grasshopper, we don't talk about exchange of gases between inhaled air and blood. Dalam insect, especially in grasshopper species, kita tak cakap pun exchange of gases, mula-mula concentration of oxygen in inhaled air is higher than in the blood. Tak ada. Kita cerita kat sini tak ada. Oxygen inhale during respiration is directly transported to the muscle cell. Tak perlu ada medium darah dekat situ. So oxygen enters spiracle into the trachea, and then the tracheole, and then direct to the muscle. And then the muscle conduct cellular respiration, produce carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide masuk tracheole, from tracheole goes to trachea, from trachea goes to the spiracle. And then the movement between the movement of air between spiracle and trachea can be increased by the presence of Airsec. Okay, dekat, sekejap. Can I draw on this? In the structure of trachea, pada structure trachea tu, in between tracheole and between tracheole dengan spiracles, pada struktur trachea tu boleh ada satu structure nama dia Airsec. Kita nampak macam balon melekat pada trachea. So Airsec only exists in large insect species. Kalau species, especially species grasshopper lah. Sebab grasshopper ni dia ada species yang saiz dia besar-besar. Jadi lagi besar insect tu, the higher the probability that the species have Airsec. So ini kita assume grasshopper yang diguna ni ialah species grasshopper yang kecil-kecil lah, yang halus-halus saja. So tak ada Airsec. So as we mentioned before, where can we find moist, thin and large surface area features inside the respiratory system of grasshopper? So number one, okay, please take a look at your answer. Okay, moist too can be found on the surface of tracheoles. Tracheoles are moist, atau the ends of tracheoles, hujung tracheole yang bertemu dengan muscle tu, the end atau the surface of tracheoles are moist. So it will increase the efficiency of gases exchange. Kalau kamu nak kata it enables gases to dissolve before diffuse to the muscle cell pun boleh. Okay, saya ulang. For tracheoles are moist. The surface of tracheoles are moist. This will enable gases to dissolve and diffuse into the muscle cell, atau this will increase the efficiency of gaseous exchange. Itu cara-cara untuk dapat moist dalam insect respiratory system. Okay, cara-cara macam mana dia dapat thin? Okay, the tracheoles itself are very fine, sangat halus. Tracheoles are fine branches of trachea. Tracheole adalah cabang-cabang halus trachea. Okay, so since it is very fine, very small, tracheoles are very thin. That enables faster diffusion of gases. Moreover, the number of tracheoles is large. Okay, there are a lot of tracheoles available in the grasshopper's body. Ada banyak tracheole boleh dijumpai dalam badan grasshopper. Therefore, it will provide a large total surface area for gaseous exchange. Okay, saya perasan Nami, Melina, Aisyah, dia padam balik dia punya responses dia. Okay, saya bantu untuk kamu tulis main point dia. Batrisha, mari sama-sama kita catatkan main point dia. Zia, Adriana, jom kita sama-sama catat semula main point dia apa. Okay, number one, moist. Okay, so the tracheoles are moist. Itu number one. Bukan trachea, tracheol. Okay, look at this diagram. Take a look how to spell tracheol dalam Google Meet presentation ada. Okay, so tracheoles are moist to enable gases to dissolve and diffuse to the muscle cell, atau to enable efficient exchange of gases. Yeah, to enable efficient exchange of gases, faster exchange of gases, atau to enable gases to dissolve and diffuse to the muscle cells. Okay. Number two, nipis atau thin. Untuk orang yang dah jawab ni, kalau ada point tu pada kamu punya jawapan, biarkan saja ya. Ini saya nak bantu orang-orang yang masih belum dapat lagi. Nombor dua, feature yang kedua ialah nipis atau thin. Dekat mana nak dapat thin tu? Dapat daripada tracheoles are very fine branches. Sekejap Okay, dah ada yang dah start jawab. Oh, sorry. I should have shown responses. Tracheoles are very fine branches of trachea. Okay, tracheoles are very fine branches of trachea. Therefore, since it is very fine, sebab dia sangat halus, therefore it is very thin. Sangat nipis to support or to enable faster diffusion of gases. Okay, to support atau to enable faster diffusion of gases. Kalau kamu, bila saya sebut atau tu kan, when I say support or enable, you can choose to write either of the verb. Saya cuba nyatakan sebanyak mungkin verb yang sesuai dalam konteks jawapan. Okay, saya cuba nak dedahkan kepada kamu. Oh, kadang-kadang kita boleh sebut support, kadang-kadang kita boleh sebut enable, kadang-kadang kita boleh sebut facilitate. Okay, large number because tracheoles are large in number, so it will increase the total surface area for gases exchange. Tracheoles are very large in number, so it can increase total surface area for gaseous exchange. Okay, bilangan tracheal tu sangat banyak. Therefore, surface area untuk gas exchange pun jadi lagi besar. Permukaan untuk buat pertukaran gas pun jadi lagi besar. Maka lagi banyaklah gas yang boleh ditukarkan. Okay, thank you. Very good. So, anak-anak, basically we have come, okay, saya tukar kepada student pace so that you can continue to work on this particular slide. Okay, pada Google Meet sekarang, saya tunjukkan homework untuk hari ni. So homework untuk hari ni is based on your workbook. Siapa yang tak ada workbook, you can continue You can continue doing the homework inside the paddock. Kalau siapa yang tak ada buku kerja, boleh teruskan jawab muka surat 37 dalam paddock ni. Saya dah screenshot and enable you to draw on top of this particular slide untuk melengkapkan jawapan pada muka surat 37. Ni 37 bahagian atas, 37 bahagian bawah dan muka surat 42. So muka surat 37 dengan 42 adalah homework kita pada hari ini. Dan jangan lupa saya ingin tegaskan di sini Adriana, Aina Amira, Alia Batrisha, Danish, Ilya, Iman Khalif, Intan Nur Afrina, Muhammad Mukris, Rafael ni dia MC tak apa, Umar dengan Ziyad masih lagi belum ada grouping atau partner untuk submit video Padlet ya. So you need to form pairs and you need to choose which title that you want to do video based on the Padlet. Please take a look at our Telegram group to get more information regarding this particular assignment. Saya akan update lagi sekali dalam Telegram. So that is all for today. I will enable this PADEC for you to receive your submissions until Friday. So thank you so much for coming today. Sorry sangat kacau pukul 9:30 tadi ya. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, teacher.